Hi there, welcome to the latest Married with Grown-Ups video. We're not going to be doing any photography today. We're not going out and about visiting sites or going and taking photographs of a city centre somewhere. We're going to stop right here and we're going to do a bit of time travelling. And before you think, oh my god, they've lost it completely, we're going to look at a very special TV series. I think that everyone probably watched at least one episode of at some time in their life. And in November 1963, the BBC showed the first ever episode of Doctor Who. Here we are now, approaching the 60th anniversary of it, and a show that's still going strong and still bringing in the viewers. So far, so normal. Where's the time travelling, I hear you say? Well, what I want to do is share something quite special that I thought I'd lost actually, but it's been a part of my childhood for over 50 years basically. And that is this magazine that was produced on the 10th anniversary of Doctor Who starting. So it's something quite special. It's a Radio Times special. It cost 30 pence. I thought I'd lost it, to be quite honest. I remember getting it. I thought I'd lost it, but it turned up when we were clearing out my mum and dad's house a couple of years ago. And I didn't clock at the time when we refound it how special it actually was, but considering that this year is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, I knew it, the magazine was some sort of anniversary. But 10 years after the show started seems an awful long time ago. So let's go back 50 years and see what's inside this magazine, why it's so special, and also why, as a young boy of 6 or 7 years old, it really did appeal to me. So I've got the front cover of it with John Pertwee, who's the third Doctor and obviously the Doctor at the time that it was published way back in 1973. And it says on the front there, the 10th year BBC One's Great Adventure series. Loads of things inside, and we'll show a little bit of that in a minute. Unfortunately, it's not in the best condition. The back cover has come away from the staples, but everything else is okay. Looks like somebody's had a little bit of a scribble there as well. That's probably me. I was always prone for writing in books and things like that. Absolutely horrendous, and don't do that at all. But this magazine was a supplement by the Radio Times. It says there in the bottom there, Radio Times special, 30 pence. But apart from Christmas, our family never got the Radio Times, so I just had to sort of join the dots a little bit. And I do remember, and I'm sure somebody who's watching this as well, if you're of a certain age, I remember the Doctor Who exhibition at Blackpool. It's where Two Swords is now, and there was a little TARDIS outside, and you could go in through there, and it had the monsters in and all this, that, and the other. And I seem to remember my brother took me, and I'm certain we bought this magazine there. So, like I said, it's 1973. 7 years old at the time, 6 years old probably more likely, and bought this for the princely sum of 30 pence from the Doctor Who exhibition at Blackpool, which in itself is a great piece of history. But let's go back. I mean, this is, bearing in mind, you're looking at this through a 6-year-old's eye. It's absolutely fantastic. Later, the title sequence there, remember the Doctor's head used to come through and the music and everything come that. The three Doctors, nowhere near double figures like we are at the present moment in time. So you've got William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee. A little bit of an interview with them, and it's fascinating reading about how the actors themselves saw the Doctor, not the Doctor himself. And then we go into a series of breakdowns of the episodes in the series. So this is 1963, 1964. First ever series was around an unearthly child, 4 episodes, and that introduced the Doctor and his granddaughter that never quite developed in further storylines how that relationship worked, but hey, there we go. Second episode is The Dead Planet, and of course that saw the first ever Doctor Who episodes where they met the Daleks. So second episode in, we've got the Daleks in there straight away. So it breaks it all down into the particular Doctors. It's got interviews with some of the companions and other people that were in there at the time. The Doctors again in 1965. There's Peter Purvis, and it goes through it. I think one thing that stands out really is In the modern era of Doctor Who, you're probably lucky if you get 10 or 12 episodes in a run and the specials and this, that and the other. When you look at a year, there's probably 48, 50 episodes. It was on virtually every single week. And you forget about that until you see something like this and you think, well, yeah, that was the case. So, it wasn't just a sort of one-off or a sort of, series that ran for a couple of months or whatever. It was on every single week virtually throughout the year. So like I said, we're moving forward now. More colour. We've got there's the Brigadier and Bessie, the yellow car. Moving forward now into the John Pertwee era. And the last set of episodes is for 1973-74, and there's a picture of the fantastic Elizabeth Slade and of course Sarah Jane Smith. And the last series that it covers was the Planet of the Spiders. Like I said, that's 73-74, so it's just clocked over into the 10th anniversary. If you like Daleks, there's loads of Dalek related stuff in here. That's Terry Nation, of course, the originator of the Daleks. Fascinating story of how they came to be. Great story there, written by Terry Nation, called We Are the Daleks. I won't give away the spoiler on that one if you do get hold of a copy of this. Now, one of the things I really love to do is this, and it's called How to Build a Dalek, and it gives you the full instructions, what to do, etc., of how to build a Dalek. And it says anyone can do this at home, where it mentions the use of lathes and all sorts of things, so possibly not. This was put together, designed to be done at a school. Thinking back to my school at the time, I don't think we probably had the equipment to make a Dalek. Least of all, something that actually resembled one. We certainly didn't have the equipment to do that. The approximate cost of all this, using aluminium, all sorts of things, and plywood and everything like that, approximate cost £15, if only. And then, right at the back, just a quick interview with some people that played monsters, set designers, all the background staff really that made the series so special. And closes with the back with a picture of Dalek, Cyberman and a sea devil chasing the Doctor. I think that was meant to be a poster. It's actually falling to bits. There's bits of paper falling off it there. But that's the Doctor Who 10th anniversary special. Quite unique, and like I said, in its sort of coming up to its 60th anniversary, it really does act as a sort of, indicator of time passing. I remember it really well from my childhood, but then you sort of forget about things. And, like I said, we came across it when I was tidying my mum and dad's house out. No way on this earth that was being thrown away, and I've kept hold of it, even in its battered state and everything. It's a fascinating piece of memorabilia. I feel like I went into Antiques Roadshow now, but no doubt that probably people will buy this thing at the drop of a hat, but I don't want to get without it because it does mean something, and I do remember it, and I remember reading it quite avidly when I was a young lad, big Doctor Who fan. Of course, no mention of Tom Baker or anything like that in this. This was up to 1973-74. It seems an awful long time ago now, but actually when you pick something like this up, that time has gone pretty quick. So yeah, the Doctor Who 10th anniversary special, our own little bit of time travelling, celebrating 60 years of perhaps the most famous time traveller of them all.